Hi guys, so this will be about as unscripted as it gets, but for the last year and say a month and a half, I've been running an experiment unknowingly, and this profile I opened and began posting on the 1st of January 2025, and I have made 165 educational short form videos, various types between talking head and talking of the hip and all the other stuff, and for that time and effort and actually actionable advice which can improve your life, I got a grand total of 71 followers, and I wasn't worried because my main method of client acquisition was via X mostly. But then again, I'm selling content that I should to some extent be representative of what I'm selling. And I decided to run an experiment in which I posted these comparison videos, and before my videos averaged, as you can see, 200 views, 220, 250, 110, all the various numbers you can see. Some are big, some are low, but they are the same videos and the same type of advice, and some hit to some extent. That one had 800, but this one had 90 views, so what's going on here? And I came to the following conclusion. You see, so this video was posted, I think, the beginning of January of this year, so that's January 4th, 2026, and it got 508 views. Maybe a month later, in between, I decided to begin focusing more on long form and double down on my X acquisition system, and that brought money in, but then also I want to work on my Instagram. So have had clients and outreaches on Instagram where I type and I talk to them, and it's all nice, communication is good, they are interested, and then they kind of, when we get on the sales call, why do you only have 70 followers on your Instagram? And it's I lost probably a customer to not having enough followers, so that's all the stuff that I do seems reasonable and interesting to them. So as a joke, basically, I decided to restart my short form thing, and I just decided, because I had this picture with me, and it was also it brought me no followers, it was also 71 followers here and here. I decided I will just post it again, and then I 2 hours later posted this one as a daily lessons thing, since when things are numbered and people like one of them in the series, they usually go to your profile and they begin to binge that style of content. So it's something that would make a person go into your videos and actually see it's when it's numbered like that, they want to binge the whole thing, and it brings them into your whole ecosystem. And this one blew up, and then I was let me post again, because in between this is 71 followers, and here I had 75, I think 74. Okay, so it didn't but it began getting views. I think at the time it was 2,000 or 3,000 views, which was outstanding as compared to the rest of my videos. And when I posted this, both of them began to go up like crazy. So by the next day I had 100, I think, and then the next day I had 150. And this whole thing proves a couple of points. Firstly, there was a time when using Instagram, which was probably 2022, 2023, 2024, where you could make talking head and educational content, and you could genuinely grow your Instagram. Your people would follow you so that they could get more of that content. Now everyone is making short form content, and you have to learn how to adapt and how to use that said content in a specific way which will get you more money. So what I decided to do is create my short form content into a sales funnel for my long form content, and then from the long form you would get on a sales call with me and buy something from me, right? And that's how most big people have been using. I took the time and the liberty to analyze certain bigger people in the space, so Alex Hormozi, Devin Jatho, and people of such nature. And for the past, say, half a year, they haven't grown much. They have a lot of followers still, and they are still getting day by day, but it's not a quantum jump. When Alex, I think, first began blowing up, he was getting 100,000 new followers a month or something. But it hasn't been happening as of late. There are a few reasons, from how many business people consume content on Instagram. I think that's capped to an extent. But then again, he made a video a while back where he basically talks about how there was an NFL event and they were bringing out like famous people so that, people on the stands can like cheer. And the biggest cheer was gotten by the A-list celebrities, but since most of us can't be that yet, they brought out like short form creators from like TikTok. They got like the lowest line of clap rate or recognition or whatever. Then they brought out the long form creators, which got a lot more. And then the people that got it the most were streamers. So he, for example, made that book launch thing where he streamed for 3 days straight, I think, and like that broke the Guinness World Record. It was like $150 million in sales in 3 days, and this was like the most sold non-fiction book, I think, of all time by now. So now when a person that makes that kind of money and also puts 70 grand a month into his content team and content funnels and stuff, decides that he will slack on his short form so that he can focus more on the long form and the streaming, that can tell you a lot more than some guru preaching online knows, because he's following the money, and you should follow the money too. You should copy the people who have a lot more resources to f around and find out. They find out something, and you can do the same thing and do the same thing they are doing without having to have not wasted resources, but put resources into finding out why something works and something doesn't. Another thing, like this way to gain followers is less optimal. So Alex, for example, talked about when he was first being in content and he was only talking about business, and then like, since it was like a personal brand, he decided to branch out a bit and talk about like gym, because it was one of his passions. And he said that on the gym content, he got something like 10 times the views, but the conversion rate from that to people who actually bought his stuff was less than the 10 times less views he got on the business content. Why? You have two kinds of people. First are gym rats, and the second are business people. Business people have more money to invest into such things, and they are looking at it as a business investment. It's something that will save them time and make them more money. But gym rats don't have as much money to spend, and neither do they have that mindset that's how it will all happen. That's why he had more buyers from the less views of the business content. And it's the same here. The only reason I am doing it is because there was a few sales calls on which I got on, and like I got those potential clients, those leads through Instagram. And they were like, yeah, my pitch was good, and they liked it and they wanted to work with me, but they had an objection in the sense that, you only have like 70, 80 followers on Instagram. And I'm like, yeah, that's a fair objection. I explained why it was so, and to some it made sense, but to some it didn't. And I lost potential clients because I just did not have a high enough number on Instagram. And this is one way to mitigate it, I suppose. Now, you could do all this work yourself, but in reality, we know that everyone successful at a certain point just delegates stuff off, because that's the way to move forward. And if you're a coach, you will get someone else to take care of getting the clients to you, and you will focus on delivering value to the client. Me personally, when I started my content agency, I was a one-man show, but the moment I got my first client, I decided to delegate the editing, since that was the most boring and repetitive task for me. And you should do the same. If you want us to do the work of getting you more clients, while you focus on actually working with them and getting them the results, you can schedule a quick call with us in the first link in the description, and we will see how we can help you out. Now, I know I've talked a lot here, but here is another disclaimer and another thought on this whole topic. You will get one person which tells you that their solution is the best. You will get another person which tells you that theirs is the best. Now, they both can be true, but what they don't understand is that there are many ways to get on top of a mountain. They have walked one of the paths and they think it's the only path up, where there are many paths up. And when you understand that by having as much data to make the decision will help you make the superior decision in this case. If you know that acquiring clients through Instagram works, but then there's also acquiring clients through YouTube, and your Instagram begins to slack a bit, that's because probably the meta has changed, so you need to use your Reels as a funnel to the YouTube, and that's how you make the cycle work again. You research, you find all the paths up the mountain, and when you have a bird's eye view of the thing, you made the decision. See you in the next one.